Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday the 16th of April 2019. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today and to be able to do this reading for you. I'm using the Goddess Tarot. It's a deck I really love. It's kind of polarizing. Some people really hate this deck and others love it. It looks at everything from a feminine perspective. So each card is a goddess. And for some reason, I really like this perspective and it really works for me, and I really like this deck. So let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of for Tuesday the 16th of April. These readings are for all signs of the zodiac. They're for everybody who watches. So if you like the video, then please share it online. That would be super duper fantastic. And let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of. The King of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the Ten of Chalices. Wow. That's a really powerful mix. We have two court cards. So the King of Pentacles, which has to do with earth and money and work and belongings and abundance. And then we have the King of Swords, which has to do with wisdom and making decisions and freedom and making choices that are going to affect other people, and bringing the sword down to stop certain relationships and to interrupt and to judge and to be the person in charge, the person who thinks they're the smartest. And the King of Swords is the smartest. She's been around the longest. She's the most experienced. You can't get one over on her. And then finally, we have the goddess of wealth and happiness and love here, opening her arms and giving this family all they could ever hope for and all they could ever dream of having. You can see this husband and wife, the two children, having a little barbecue, and everyone's happy. It's the ultimate dream. Doesn't mean that everyone has the dream of having the nuclear family, but whatever you want, whatever your dream is. So if it's you wanting to be single and you've chosen that, like I read this recent quote by Marlene Dietrich, and she was like, husband, like they asked her, why did you never get married? And she was like, I never found a man good enough to be a husband. So that was her opinion. And she was really happy being by herself. And her dream was to be famous and to have money and to be in the spotlight. And it was funny at the end when she went on stage, she was older and she couldn't walk so well. And she had this dress on that was so heavy, and it was like armor almost. So when she was up on stage, the dress itself held her up. Can you imagine? You're like standing there on stage singing, and the only reason that you're still standing is because your corset and then the iron in the dress underneath is propping you up. Crazy. So that's dedication. Oh my goodness. So where was I? Yes, your personal hopes and dreams, whatever they may be, are likely to be realized today. But first of all, we got the King of Pentacles. So we've got someone who has mastered the element of Pentacles. So they know about money. They've worked their way up. They know about work. They know what the value of money is all about. You know, some people are very wealthy and they have no idea what it means to struggle and to be poor. You know, you talk to them and you say, well, I have these flatmates and I really am not getting on with them very well. And they look at you with this blank look on their face saying, flatmates? Why would you choose to live with other people? Well, it's because it lowers the cost of living. Cost of living? What's that? You know, that kind of conversation, super irritating. So some people have that kind of total no understanding of what money even means. But the King of Pentacles does. She has come from nothing. She's worked her way up through being the page, then the knight, and then the king. And she knows when to take action and when to be still. She knows when to make changes and when to fortify and strengthen. She knows when to work and when to have leisure time and to enjoy herself. She knows when to save money and when to be lavish and generous. She knows when to use her power to bulldoze her way through and to fight her enemies. And she knows when it's time for peace. So this is an expert. And she's facing off with another expert today. The King of Swords. King of Swords also has worked her way up through being a page. So no idea of what the world is about. No idea about the law. No idea about the way people communicate, the way they lie to each other to get what they want, to be manipulative. She's worked her way through that and she's become a knight. So she's rushed into situations and she's been absent when she really ought to have made a decision. She's learned from all of that and now she's the King of Swords. And when they get to the king level, they're no longer ruled by the element, they ruled the element. So the snake is total wisdom. The sword is an ability to cut through all the nonsense and to say, we're going the left way, not don't make it complicated. We're going to follow this plan and that's the way it is. It's very cutting. So if someone is, she can be a judge. If someone is just talking a lot of rubbish, she is able to cut them off and say, zip it, it's enough. I've heard this story before. Thanks for the sub story, for instance. I've heard it 12 million times. You're not going to get one over on me. Freedom, she sees very far. This eagle represents a bird that can fly anywhere. And her vision of the future is infinite. She knows that anything is possible. If you can think it, if you can dream it, you can realize it. So we've got a sense of arrogance here today. We've got you feeling like you know everything about your work and you feel like you are really in charge. And if anyone contradicts you, elephant time, boom, out of the way, or stomp, get rid of them. Then also, you feel like you know everything. And if someone, I remember I had this boss, she was the worst boss ever. She bullied her employees. She was really, there should have been disciplinary action. I actually want to name and shame her today. She works for Lloyd's Bank in Shrewsbury and her name is Celia Evans. She is the worst boss in the world. I think she might be in Wrexham now. But the way she treats her employees, she says things like, get out of my sight. I don't want to look at you anymore. She says things like, don't contradict me. I'm not having it. So she's a tyrant at work. And the King of Swords can be a tyrant because it can be, I know everything and you fall in line and you shut up and I don't want to work collaboratively. I'm the boss. I get paid for being the boss and I'm going to fulfill that role. And sometimes the King of Swords wouldn't be a tyrant. She wouldn't go over the line the way Celia Evans does. She wouldn't cross the line because she knows that she's got a responsibility and she's wise. So she would say, these are the plans that we've got. This is the way we're moving forward. Any other thoughts from the team? Yes, no, okay, you've got an objection. Let me hear it, let me listen to it and shut it down by giving you the explanation. And we're still going to move ahead. It's not by screaming the loudest or by bullying or intimidating people. However, we've got two very strong characters. So either there's a face-off between you and someone else, difference of opinion. So the way I've just created conflict with Celia Evans, she might watch this and dislike. Who cares? By the way, Celia, if you're watching. Okay, so there may be a face-off between two people. And that doesn't lead to a happy place. There may be a sense of doing everything yourself and really knowing what you're doing in a financial situation and using your smarts to build something by yourself. And if you go that way, you don't let yourself be distracted and interrupted by other people all the time. You do things the way you see fit and you use all your wisdom and knowledge and experience. You're able to create and manifest your hopes and dreams. So if you want to move, then you move. If you feel like you want to change your job and everyone's saying you're crazy for changing jobs, you've got such a good income, why would you start your own business and work much harder and struggle? But you know it's going to serve you, and you know you see the future, you see far, and you see that ultimately you're going to be much happier doing that. So you do it. And then because you have the most wonderful job and you live by the sea, then you meet a woman or a man and you fall in love and you have the kids, or you get a pet, or you buy a boat and you go on lovely excursions and you live your dream. So today is relying on your own expertise to make your hopes and dreams come true. And not letting other people interfere. And if there is conflict today, don't get too heavily involved in it. Don't get out your elephants and try and run them over. Don't get out your swords and try and cut them. Because whenever you get into a conflict like that, you tie yourself together with them. You see, you weld yourself together. So the fact that I've mentioned that woman today, I might now get a call from her. It bonds you together whenever you create conflict with another person. When you don't get involved in that, you're free, you're independent. And you don't, you just don't magnetically bond and weld yourself to that other person through resentment and negativity. And you're free to go your own way. And that's why you're able to raise your vibration and end up with this happy, wonderful situation there. So let it go. If they contradict you, try and find a way around it. If someone's blocking your path, again, try and find a way around it rather than attacking and being a tyrant and trying to get your way through sheer aggression and bullying and strength. Try to avoid that and try and find a smarter, more appropriate and more intelligent solution to the problem. And you do have it within you. So don't take the first no as your answer. See that as the first offer. Look at getting past that no, and the second no, and the third no, until you get to your personal yes. So starting your own business, and then you are able to realize your hopes and dreams. You're the expert today. Rely on your own expertise. You're the one who's going to make it happen. You're the king. And you're going to make your hopes and dreams come true. Only you can manifest your own perfect life. No one's going to do it for you. So 10 and 2 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 is about new beginnings and communication. So communicate with yourself, and this is at the center of the reading, this card. So your ideas, your thinking, and your ability to decide, that is the most important thing, and that's the thing that's going to take you very far today. 3 is also about new beginnings. So what can you start in terms of finances, money, business, decision-making, travel, movement, changing your appearance, changing anything in your life, your romantic situation, your relationship status, whatever it is that you want to manifest. Maybe it is actually looking at, hey, I've always dreamed of this, but I no longer want that, so I'm going to manifest something else now. Maybe it's tweaking your actual hopes and dreams for the future and changing that. So have a wonderful day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. In my personal readings, I use tarot, astrology, and numerology. The astrology chart shows me everything about you. It shows me what your life purpose is, your vocational aptitudes, your strengths and weaknesses, what's happening in love and romance and relationships, health, moving, personal development. If you have any questions, I can answer those for you. So if you would like to look at any of those things, then please do get in touch for a personal reading, gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, please share it online and hit the subscribe button, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.